I work at a mental hospital, and some of the residents there are a little odd, to put it nicely. Sure, some people are afflicted with the so-called usual conditions like paranoid schizophrenia or schizoaffective disorder. Others are less clear-cut, like the one guy we have there that seems to fit into about 7 different personality disorders, and yet doesn't fit anyone just exactly. He definitely requires unconventional treatment. Nothing harmful, just to be extra careful around the guy. There is, however, one really weird type there. A delusional man who has been in the hospital for years now. I've been working at the hospital for a few years, and this man has been admitted for as long as I've been there. This guy, I'll call him Arthur McJohn because why not? And I don't want his identity going out there. He has some sort of unique delusion. It's sort of like Cotard delusion or walking corpse syndrome. It's similar in the way that he believes he died once in the past. However, it's different in that he thinks he's been resurrected, or actually, that he escaped from hell itself. I've learned about the specific details only recently. I knew for the longest time that he has some suicidal tendencies as a result of his delusion. He believes to be having an extraordinary generative ability. In simple terms, he tries to convince everyone that he will come back from the dead once he manages to kill himself. Recently, he started improving, so we let him roam free around his living section of the facility. He still doesn't get to possess or handle anything that might cause him any sort of bodily harm. Anyway, what I'm about to tell you is what he told me one night. He came up to me from the dark hall, slowly, almost as if he was trying to creep up on me when I was busy doing the paperwork on other patients. I didn't even notice him. I was buried in the papers with the lights from my monitor almost soothing me, immersing me completely into my monotone work process at that moment. "Hey, Jack." Arthur's creaking voice crept up on me from in front of the counter, startling me. "Oh, God," I yelped as I jumped from my seat. "I didn't mean to startle you. I'm sorry," the man in the pajamas said. It's fine," I said as I clenched my chest. "Do you need anything?" "Well, I'd like to talk to someone. Could you, he asked in response. I guess, but let's head to your room first, okay?" I answered, trying to relax in the process. "Sure," he said and turned back towards the dark hallway. I followed suit. The whole walk to his room was quiet, almost eerily quiet. For a person who wanted to talk, he didn't have much to say, it seemed. Once we made it to his room, he slumped his long and lanky form on the bed and motioned for me to sit on the chair by the door. I did. "So what did you want to talk to me about?" I asked hesitantly. His facial expression became serious, something very unusual for him. He was never seen having a serious expression on his face. "Do you know why I'm here?" he asked me, with a cold tone. "You suffer from a condition called Cotard delusion, and your family admitted you here after repeated suicide attempts," I responded, fact-of-the-matterly. "Yeah. My family admitted me here 30 fucking years ago. Do I look 60-something to you?" he remarked sarcastically. "You what?" I questioned. I'm pretty sure my whole body language gave out the fact that I wasn't expecting this sort of response. "Yeah, they never told you when they got me here," he remarked with a smirk forming on his face. He cut me off. "Impossible? Sure, you can always read my files and see when I was admitted. Do you know why the older staff members called Old Joe Atkins Barbarossa? Because he used to have a red beard. He kept on going. Listen, what I've told them, what I've told everyone here is the truth. I've been to hell and back. There's no way. If you got me here to convince me of something supernatural, I'm going to have to leave and lock your door again, Arthur, I said as I stood up from my chair and started picking my pockets for the master key to the patient's rooms. Admittedly, his remark about Dr. Atkins intrigued me. I never knew he had a red beard or anything of that sort. The nickname fits as well. I had to keep my professionalism, however. I was about to leave when Arthur got up from his bed and pulled his shirt up. He pointed at his chest and back, spinning in place. See these? Exactly the same location. That's the bullet that ended my life. I stopped myself from leaving. So you've had an NDE and the lack of oxygen damaged your frontal lobe, causing I was going to say, but he cut me off. I woke up in the morgue in a body bag. I doubt people who were near death get placed in body bags, Jack, he said. Okay, well, then tell me how it was like in hell. I decided to humor the situation as I alert other staff members to arrive just in case. Now you're asking the good questions, Jack, Arthur exclaimed before slumping back down to his bed. He then continued speaking. You see, once you die, you go to this dark, pitch black, dark, wet, silent place, and there, you're alone, inside nothing at all, just you and the pitch black, silent darkness. There's a feeling of wetness, but it's so dull and muffled that you're not really in any wetness. You're not feeling anything in that place. That doesn't sound too bad, I mused, trying to ease up the ever-growing tension in the room. It's lovely for a short time, but then your mind, or soul, or something, that thing inside you begins trying to come up with things to keep you away from the nothing. And that's when something akin to hallucinations starts happening. You hear voices, and you see faces. And that's not too bad, but then, my friend, you begin feeling as if you're being followed, chased, preyed upon. The paranoia creeps in on you slowly, and everything becomes darker, more sinister. You begin seeing disturbed visages, and the voices become screams, shrieks of unimaginable suffering. A chill ran down my spine as he said that, and sometime later, the paranoia becomes unbearable, and you begin screaming into the nothingness, but no voice comes out. You try to move around, but you can't feel your body. Your fear only gets worse. You're losing it. The nothingness just eats away at you, slowly, patiently, almost deliberately. God knows how long later, you begin feeling pain. At first, it's just small pricks and pokes on your skin. A nice change from the constant nothing, a feeling at last. Unpleasant one, but still. It sounds awful, I cut him off. Oh, we're not even at the best part yet, son. The pain eventually grows. It grows endlessly, to the point where you feel as if you are constantly shot, stabbed, cut, beat, burned, all at once. You try to run away from the sensations, but you can't. That is when you realize you are frozen in place. That's when I finally realized I'm stuck in place. No, that's when I accepted it. I felt myself beginning to experience fearful discomfort. His tall tale was getting to me. Arthur simply continued. Fear. It becomes the only constant. Eventually, you get used to it. You get used to being always exhausted and in pain, and it becomes fine. Trust me, it does. It sure as fuck exhausts you, but then at some point you finally break. They finally manage to break your spirit." Arthur grasped at his pillow tightly and kept on saying, "For me, it was when I saw that thing. I don't even know. It had a jaw massive like a cave and one red, bloodshot eye on top. I can't." "Hey, are you all right?" I asked as I started making my way towards him. "I'm fine. I just struggled to remember. You see, when this thing came close enough, I think I began feeling like I was being torn apart, skin from the body, flesh from the bones, organs being pulled out. I even felt like the bones were being crushed, and all of this is just the darkness around you that's doing this to you. Oh, and the worst part is when you begin feeling yourself, your core, your soul, your whatever makes you. You're being torn apart to bits and pieces, memories, knowledge, feelings. All is slowly stripped away until there is nothing left. They take your memories, your feelings, the fucking pain, everything." Arthur said as his voice quivered and tears began streaming down his eyes. "Well, now you're safe and you'll be all right, okay, Arthur?" I said as my colleagues began showing up at the entrance of his room. I don't know, man. I barely escaped by the skin of my teeth. I clutched at this little memory when I set my brother accidentally on fire. I held to this memory so tightly, and I didn't even want to. He burst into tears immediately as other staff members began tending to him. "It'll be all right, I promise," I told him as I stood at the edge of the room, watching as they tried talking him down. "I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. I don't want to go back. They'll kill me. They'll kill me. I don't want to go back." He screamed repeatedly as he began thrashing and clawing at the staff members who tried to calm him down. "You won't go anywhere, Arthur," I told him before leaving the room to notify the administration. Apparently, they had to strap him down, and he didn't sleep ever since. Nothing puts him down. He's been awake and raving for the last week and doesn't seem to slow down. His vitals are going down, no matter what we do. His health is declining, and he won't fall asleep. I'm afraid exhaustion will claim his life. I do wonder why he keeps screaming about someone's cold hands touching him.